Hello, this is Todd Luck, and this is a review of Dejah Thoris versus Nolach the Kaldane from Tarzan The Epic Adventures. This was an Edgar Rice Burroughs line of toys from Trendmasters back in the 90s. And as far as I can tell, this is the only Dejah Thoris action figure I can find. So, the character has been around for over 100 years. She's the Princess of Mars, the title character of the first John Carter of Mars novel. And this is her only action figure, like I said. So as you can see, it's very, very nice packaging. This is just something that looks really great if you hang it on your wall. It doesn't stand very well. It's just not made to stand upright. But like I said, it looks great hanging, beautiful packaging. And the back is very similar to the last two-pack we looked at, which was John Carter. So you got your list of all the different figures in the line and toys. And also you get 2 Tarzan points. And no, I still haven't figured out what Tarzan points get you. But hopefully someday I will. Now, the last one I opened, I did find that there was this little mysterious metal ring at the bottom. I did eventually get the bubble off of there. It just takes a lot of effort, but if you're going to keep the bubble on there, you might want to try to slip it back in or whatever. You're going to want to open it at the top, and that's what I'm going to do right now. Just, it's going to be a lot easier, so... not looking to tear the bubble off just yet, so we're just going to use our old school opening skills. Shouldn't damage the card too much except where the bubble is glued on. Well, depends on how good your old school opening skills are, probably. Mine are a little rusty. I'm getting better here. Not too bad. All right, and my figures fell out, but we do have Dejah Thoris, and we do have Nolach the Kaldane. So there you go. And here are the 2 figures and everything they come with. They come with a badge, which looks quite nice. This is good for display. Or you could also use this as a badge. You could actually wear this. A lot of the figures come with that, so you're going to get extras. It comes with all the 2-packs. And here is Dejah Thoris, Princess of Mars. As you can see, she comes with 2 weapons. This beautifully sculpted sword, which is really nice, and also this blaster. Her arm does not move here. It's eternally in this pose, as is her head and legs. Her arm does, however, move up and down there, so you can get some different poses, which look pretty cool. All right, and as far as her outfit goes, this is nicely done, nice little details. Typically, Martian princesses are interpreted as wearing kind of the equivalent of an earth bikini, and they might have like a loincloth or a cape, some armlets, armbands, headdress, things like that. And so this is really in keeping with, a lot of interpretations of this character. The only thing that they take artistic license on would be, her using a sword and blaster, but that is a very common artistic interpretation of her in comic books and art. So I think that's perfectly in keeping with tradition. These figures tend to stand pretty well. And here is Nolach the Kaldane. So he comes with a sword that fits rather well in his hands, and Dejah's weapons fit very well in her hands as well. So his arms do move, but his legs do not, and his head does not, and nor is it removable. So he probably requires a little bit of explanation. So as you can see, he's very nicely detailed armor, very nicely detailed head. Now, the head right here is actually the Kaldane. So a Kaldane is this creature that has evolved to basically be mostly brain. So it's just this head with these spider legs that it can crawl around on, and two claws that it can, eat with and pick up stuff. So it's got big bulging eyes. In the novel, they're kind of a bluish gray. Here he's colored white, which I think looks really good. And he's also wearing armor on his body. Now, the body is actually another creature altogether called the Rykor. So Rykors are these headless creatures that the Kaldane will mount, and they'll ride them around similar to the way humans ride horses. And so typically the Rykor don't wear a whole lot because, again, they're just thought of as animals to ride around on. But, we've never met this Kaldane before. He's only mentioned as one of the kings of the Kaldane in Chessmen of Mars. And so perhaps Nolach has a reason to wear armor. Maybe he wants to protect his Rykor. The Rykors of Kaldane kings tended to be bigger than all the other Rykors, and they were stronger and all that good stuff. So maybe he is being more cautious. This is not a fight that ever happened in the novels. These two characters never actually met, so this is kind of artistic interpretation at its best. There's also scales shown on the Rykor as well. This is a bit of artistic interpretation. They're described as having darker skin than a regular red Martian like Dejah Thoris there, but having very perfect bodies by red Martian standards. So this may be a reference to them being described as evolving from lower life forms. The Rykors had evolved from some kind of animal that the Kaldanes rode. And it's not really described what that animal was like, other than it eventually evolved to have no head. And so I guess maybe there was an interpretation here that creature could have been a reptile, which is fine. But, like I said, artistic interpretation. I think my biggest problem here is that he's way shorter than he should be. Even if he stood up, I don't think he's got quite the height he should, but he definitely looks way smaller than he should compared to Dejah Thoris. And I just wanted to show that, yeah, she can hold either weapon in either hand and probably can get a good grip on just about any weapon in this line. So that's pretty cool. It looks a little funny here because the Kaldane is so short, but maybe that's why he's squatting down to avoid getting shot. And I put another sword in the Kaldane's hand from another figure just to illustrate that his Rykor can hold weapons in both hands. He has two very tight gripping hands, so that's fantastic. And just like I showed with Nolach, you can have her hold any weapon from the 4.5-inch figures. So if you want her decked out with a couple swords, you certainly can do that. And if you want to, you can also have her holding two guns. If you have some other characters with guns, and maybe she's just tired of getting kidnapped and wants to get revenge John Woo style on somebody. She can also hold the weapons that came with the 5-inch figures if you want something a little shinier for your princess. And by the way, if you're looking for something a little more accurate to what Martian princesses used in the novels, Martian princesses did typically carry a knife, and the 5-inch Tarzan figure does have a knife. It fits loosely in her hand, and it's not quite perfect for what I would think a small blade for a Martian princess would look like, but it gets the job done if you're looking for something a little more novel accurate. So just to illustrate the scale of these figures, this is those figures with my 3 3/4-inch Slave Leia figure, and I just wanted to use this to compare the size because that scene in Return of the Jedi was actually a homage to the Barsoom novels, the John Carter of Mars novels, with the sky ships and the desert planet, the Jabba the Hutt, capturing Leia and putting her in, you know, an outfit that resembles something you would associate with Dejah Thoris. And of course, in true Burroughs fashion, she also kills her tormentor as well. So I just now realized that was a homage to the Mars novels from Edgar Rice Burroughs. So that's kind of a cool thing to realize, you know, all these decades later. So as I've said in the previous review, they're more in scale with 4.5-inch superhero figures from the 80s and 90s. Here they are with Doctor Doom from the Secret Wars line. So here she is with John Carter, Warlord of Mars, from the 2-pack that had him, and with the 5-inch Tarzan Tarkus figure. And to me, this is just absolutely perfect. They look so good together. To me, this is what this is all about, getting these three figures together. And this is basically your trinity of the Mars novels. This is the equivalent of Luke, Leia, and Han for Barsoom. So this is fantastic. And of course, Tarzan Tarkus could be any Thark, and now that you have Dejah, you can always set up one of those classic scenes where the Tharks are trying to kidnap a princess and John Carter's got to save her. So overall, this is a decent set. I mean, you get some great action poses out of Dejah Thoris, and it's really cool finally having a figure of her. The Nolach the Kaldane is way too small. That's my biggest detractor. Plus, there's a lot of artistic interpretation with the character. One of the biggest I forgot to mention was that the legs of the Kaldane shouldn't be showing. There should be a harness where he hides them and rests his legs while he's riding the Rykor. The legs only come out, you know, if they want to detach from the Rykor and just crawl away, which is quite creepy. And is actually something, as far as being able to detach the Kaldane and have it, you know, crawling on its own, is something that can be done with his 5-inch figure. And that's what we're going to be looking at next. So like and subscribe for more videos. And until next time, stay away from the Kaldanes.